This is Unit 1, Lesson 3, working with function notation. So our learning goal for today is to interpret and evaluate relationships expressed in function notation. So this first slide here is just a review of what you just learned with 1.2. So function notation is essentially the same thing as your regular equation, except you're replacing that y with the f of x, which means that your point xy changes to x f of x. So it's simply just another name for y. So in the last lesson, we didn't really look at why we need to use this notation, what it helps us with. So that's basically what we're going to do in this quick little lesson here. So this example says use the table to answer the following questions. So part A says what is the value of h of 3? So we can see we have t and we have h of t. So that just means that these points, think of it as x and y. Okay, so those are our two rows, x and y. So what is the value of f of 3? H of 3. So I look over at 3 here, and I see that at 3, my h of t value is 49. Okay, this stuff is really this simple. So h of 3 simply equals 49. Okay, and I can just tell that directly from my chart. Okay, so they try to make it a bit more tricky, but really it's not that complicated. So this next part for B, it says h bracket 6 minus 2. So what is the value of h bracket 6 minus 2? Okay, well, this is really easy. It's just trying to trick us up, right? So we just need to do 6 minus 2. So h of 6 minus 2 is just h of 4. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this 4. And I see at t equals 4, my h of 4 is equal to 34.3. Okay, really easy stuff here. This is as tricky as it gets. So what is the value of h of 4 minus h of 1? Okay, so all we need to do is figure out the value at h of 4 and the value of h of 1. So we already have h of 4 circled, and now we have h of 1 circled. So h of 4 minus h of 1 is equal to, h of 4 is 34.3 minus h of 1 is 49.0. Okay, simply type that in on your calculator. So the value of h of 4 minus h of 1 is negative 14.7. Okay, and it's as simple as that. So let's move on to a little bit more tricky, but not that complicated whatsoever. All right, so let's look at this word problem here. I'm going to change my color because black is just kind of boring. We'll use purple. Okay, so a rocket is shot into the air from the top of a building. Its height in meters after t seconds is modeled by the function h of t equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 19.6 t plus 34.3. So this sort of question is going to be extremely common in this course, and we'll get a little bit more into it, but for right now, we just want to use our function notation. So this asks, what is the height of the building? Okay, well, think about that. The height of the building. Okay, so it says we're shooting the rocket from the top of the building. So it's the starting point. So the height is when the rocket is launched. When launched. Okay, well, when it's being launched, our time has to be at 0, right? Because we haven't yet launched it. So our time equals 0. Okay, we have to think about these problems a little bit. So time equals 0. So that means to figure out what the height of the building is, all we have to do is find h of 0. Okay, and that all we're doing is we're using substitution Okay, all it is substitution. So when I say h of something, so in this case h of 0, that means I'm replacing every t I see with 0. So we have negative 4.9 times 0 squared plus 19.6 times 0 plus 34.3. Well, 0 to the power of 2 is just going to be 0, and 0 times anything is 0. So I have 0 plus 19.6 times 0. Again, that's going to be 0. So 0 plus 34.3. So at h of 0, the height is 34.3 meters. Okay, which means the building height is 34.3 meters. Okay, and we can just fill that in here, because we need a nice concluding sentence to get those communication marks. Okay, so B is asking us, what is the height of the rocket after 3 seconds? Okay, so really all that's asking us is for h of 3. Okay, so just like we subbed in 0 in part A, this time we're just going to replace our t's with 3's. So negative 4.9 times 3 to the power of 2 plus 19.6 times 3 plus 34.3. So remember your BEDMAS here. You have to do those exponents before you multiply. Okay, so I'm just going to do this all in one step. But obviously you would do 3 to the power of 2 is 9. And then you can multiply everything out and then add everything together. But after you do all of that, you should get 49 meters. So the rocket is 49 meters high after 3 seconds. Okay, so we launched the rocket. After 3 seconds, it's at that height of 49 meters. Okay, again, that's simply just substitution. Okay, a couple more examples to look at, but this note is extremely short. We're already about halfway through. All right. So this example here, okay, so we're given f of x equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. So it's first asking us to find f of 3. Okay, and we know that that just is substitution, right? We're just literally replacing all of our x's with 3. So f of 3 equals 2 times 3 squared plus 3 times 3 minus 1. So that's just going to be 2 times 9 plus 9 minus 1, which equals 26. Okay, B is asking us to find f of 5x. Okay, yes, it looks a bit different. Yes, it looks a bit more confusing, but it's not. You're just not going to end up with a whole number. You're going to end up with an equation. So instead of writing just a number, we're also writing that variable. So f of 5x, still just substituting, but this time we're writing in 5x. So we have 2 times 5x squared plus 3 times 5x minus 1. So 5x squared is going to give us 25x squared. 25x squared times 2 is 50x squared plus 3 times 5x. 3 times 5 is just 15. Don't forget the x minus 1. And because those are not like terms, this is as far as I have to go. Okay, I've answered that question. F of 5x is equal to 50x squared plus 15x minus 1. Last example here. So we're looking at sales of sunglasses. So the first question asks us, what is the meaning of R40? So we look, R40. So that's 40's right here. So we need to figure out the revenue at 40 and what that actually means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from 40 and see where that hits on my graph. Okay, so I can see that the revenue at $40 is the price, is our maximum height, right? Or our maximum revenue if we're talking directly about the situation. So it represents the max revenue. Okay, and we can tell that just from that graph. Okay, part B says, what price makes R of S equal 12,000? So basically, remember, this is just function notation. So this is just Y equals 12,000. And it's asking what X value, right? The price is X. So what X value makes Y equal to 12,000? Well, again, I go and I look at my graph and I go to 12,000 and I'm just going to draw a line across from 12,000 and see that I have 2 points there, right? I can see a point here and a point here. So again, use a ruler, draw a line, whatever works for you. I draw a line from that point down and that point down. I can see that at $20 and $20 and $60, my revenue will be 12,000. So my answer here is $20 and $60. Okay, and don't worry about this. Again, I will let you know your homework on a different page on D2L. Okay, and that is the end of lesson 3 for Unit 1.